Hello and welcome you once again in this new session of English literature. And today's topic is The Deadly Wish by W. W. Jacob. It's a story of a magical wish, and that story is being converted here as in a play. And the cast of the characters are here. You can see Mr. White, Mrs. White, Herbert, their son, a Sergeant Major Morris, a retired army officer, and Mr. Sampson. He is a company official. So now here you can see two men are playing chess. One is Mr. White and another one is Herbert. This is Herbert, his son, and his father, Mr. White. Mr. White, there, Herbert, my boy, I got you, I think. I got you means I have won, you have lost in the chess it's known as you lost it. Herbert, oh, I lost, he said. Oh, I lost, father, this game too? Mr. White, yes, my son, you lost this chess game, you lost this. There is a knock at the door. In the meantime, someone was knocking at the door, and it was Sergeant Major Morris who has come to meet Mr. White. He is a retired army officer, and he lost one of his arm in the war. Herbert removes the chessboard. Wonder what yam he has got for us tonight. In the meantime, Herbert, he removed the chessboard and he said, what a wonder, what a yarn he has got us for tonight. Let's see what he want to say. Mr. White at the door. Come in quick. I can't hold the door against the wind for much longer. And Mr. White is saying, please come inside because I can't hold that door. It was a very wind was blowing over there. A sergeant says, awful, and mile up the road it is worse, enough to blow the hair off your head. Well, so sergeant said, yes, almost a mile of the road it's a worse. Everywhere there is a wind, even it can blow your hair from your head. Now Mr. White says, how are you, Sergeant? Sergeant says, I am very well. How about you? Mrs. White says, fine, thank you. Is there a storm outside? You must have had a hard time coming to our place. Sergeant said, oh, it's not too difficult for a soldier. I have seen worse time. Mrs. White said that, Mr. Sergeant, is there any wind is blowing outside there? He said, no, it's no problem for me because I am a soldier and I have seen much more worse than this type of wind. Herbert says, Mother, can you please make some coffee for everyone? Mrs. White says, sure, son, I will just go and bring some coffee for all of you. So Herbert says, Sergeant, what story have you brought for us today? Why you came here? A sergeant said, actually, why you came over here? So he said, nothing. Oh, it was nothing. Sergeant, let us think. I was in India for some time. Should I tell you about my Indian magic? Then he said, once I was in India and I have seen some Indian magic over there. Did I told that story to you? Mr. White says, nonsense, old friend. I don't believe in magic. What was that you started telling me the other day about? A monkey's paw or something? Nudges Herbert and winks at Mrs. White. Sergeant says, nothing gravely. Oh, it was nothing worth hearing. You can hear it very well because whatever has happened to me, you must know about that monkey's paw. It was the story of black magical from Indian fakir. He got that monkey's paw. The surgeon says, nothing. Oh, it was nothing worth hearing. Mrs. White says, with astonished, it was the monkey's paw. Are you sure it was the monkey's paw? Mrs. White says, Mr. White, you are telling me. I already know that you have already and told me, and I really don't believe this story. Mr. White said. Again, surgeon said, nothing, don't go on about it, but you can hear the story. So Mr. White said, okay, you said you always carried it on you, so I do for a fear of what might happen. What it is for? Surgeon said, you would not believe me if I were to tell you. Herbert, I will, every word. Then Herbert says, no, I will believe you. Uncle, I will believe you if you say what you want to say about that magical. Surgeon says, magic then, don't laugh. Herbert, I am not got it on you now. So he says, then Herbert says, let's see it. Uncle, please show me that monkey's paw. Surgeon, oh, it's nothing to look at. Hunting in his pocket, just an ordinary little paw, a dead monkey's paw. It was being dried, so it looks a little dreadful. Produces it and holds it towards Mrs. White here. This is the monkey's paw. See, he used to keep these monkey's paw in his pocket, and he said, see, this is the monkey's paw, and you can see over it. The Mrs. White said, who has learned about forward eagerly to see, start back and little cry of disgust. Oh, this is so horrible. Herbert says, give us a look. Morris, why it is all dried up? He asks it, uncle, why this paw is so dried up? Surgeon said. Then Mr. White said, and what a might there be special about it. Surgeon, the paw has had a magic spell put upon it. So now he is actually the Mr. Surgeon came to Mr. White's house to show that magic paw of the monkey, a dyed monkey's magic paw. It was dried, and everyone was eager to see that paw except Mr. White. He don't believe in any magic. Mr. White said, no. In a great alarm, he thrust the paw back into the Morris hand. Then Surgeon said, pensively he said, holding the paw in the palm of his hand and say, oh, by an old fakir. I got it from an old fakir. He was very holy man. He had sat on the doubled up in one spot, going on for 15 years, thinking of things, and he wanted to show the fate ruled people, that everything he cut and dried from the beginning, as you might say. And so he said that this paw, I got it from an Indian fakir. He was sitting on one place for 15 long years, and he had made a fate in the mind of the Indian peoples. In the meantime, by hearing this, Mr. White and Herbert laughed, because he said that he put a spell on it and made it that three peoples looking at them, and he was trying to say, Mr. Surgeon was trying to say that Indian fakir who gave this to him, this paw, he was a very holy person, and he was sitting in one place for 15 years. After listening them, Mr. White and his son Herbert, they both laughed. Mrs. White, shh, don't make fun of it. Mrs. White was believing it, so she said that please don't laugh. Whatever surgeon is saying, maybe it is true. Mr. White said, but how could the wishes be granted? So when that fakir told him, ki if you keep this paw with you, whatever the wish you want, it will be fulfilled. But the thing is that your heart should be pure. You must believe me. Then only your wish will be fulfilled. So Mr. White said, you are saying that this dried paw will fulfill the wish. How could it be possible? Surgeon said, he did not say it would all happen so naturally. You might think it a coincidence. Herbert, why haven't you tried it, sir? Then Herbert said, uncle, then why didn't you try it? If you are saying that it will help you in your it will fulfill your wishes, then why are you not yourself trying it? The surgeon said, yes, I should. Mrs. White said, were they granted? Surgeon said, they were at pause. Mr. White said, has anybody else wished? Are you sure that it will fulfill your wish? Or anyone else has tried to fulfill their wish? Surgeon says, yes, the first owner had 3 wishes. Then now he said that the first owner of this hand, he had 3 wishes. Yes, oh yes, he had his 3 wishes, all right. I don't know what were the first 2 were, but the third one was for death. All of a sudden, that's how I got the paw. A pause. Everyone was stunned by listening that. Herbert said cheerfully, well, seems to me you have only got to wish for things that you can't have any bad luck about them. Surgeon shook his head and said, Mr. White now says, Morris, if you had 3 wishes, it is good to you. Now, what about to keep it? He asked Morris, if you had 3 wishes, what will you ask for? Surgeon said, still holding the paw, looking at it, I did have some idea of selling it, but I don't think I will. It's done mischief enough already. Besides, people won't buy. Someone of them think it is a fairy tale, and some want to try it first and pay after. So he said, no, actually I want to sell this, and no one is willing to buy this dried paw, or someone is saying that first I will try it, then I will pay. Mrs. White said, okay, if you could have another 3 wishes, would you? Surgeon said slowly, weighing the paw in his hand and looking at, I don't know. Suddenly, with violence, he threw it away. I don't want it. He threw it and said, I don't want it. I don't want any wishes from it. Mr. White says, rises up quickly and picks it up. What are you doing? He said. Why are you throwing this? Surgeon says, Surgeon says, I won't, my hands are clear of it. I threw it. If you keep it, don't blame me, whatever happens. He said, no, I don't want it. I have thrown it. If you want to keep it, you keep it. But if something happens to you, please don't blame to me. Mr. White said, stubbornly he said, I am going to keep it. What do you say, Herbert? Do you want to keep it? His son Herbert says, laughing, okay, keep it if you want. Stuff it and do whatever you want. Mr. White says, okay, stuff and nonsense. Yes, I wonder. Surgeon says, stop, mind. What are you doing? That is not the way. Actually, the Mr. White and Herbert are still making the fun of that paw. So surgeon says, please don't laugh about it. Stop mind what are you doing. That is the not the way. So Mr. White said, what is the way? Mrs. White says, oh, don't have anything to do with me, Mr. Surgeon. Please. So Mr. Surgeon said, okay, don't worry. Surgeon says, okay, don't worry. If you want to keep it. But do believe about the wishes you are going to have with it. And I warn you that what I say, ma'am, you could hold it in your right hand. You hold it in your right hand and wish aloud. But I warn you, maybe you have to suffer. It will fulfill your wish, but you have to suffer. Mrs. White sounds like an Arabian Nights. Don't you think you might wish me 4 pairs of hands? Surgeon says, stop it. If you wish, you must wish. Wish for something sensible. Look here, I can't stand this. I am going. I want a fresh air. I don't want to be here when you wish. And wish you will as soon as my back is turned. I know, but I have warned you. Be careful. He said, now you please stop it. When I want to go outside from here. After I go from here, I want some fresh air. Then only you ask for your wish. But again I am warning you. Please don't blame me. Be careful about your wish. Mr. White helping him into the coat. All right, Mr. Morris, don't you fret about us. And surgeons, no, I am not going to be fret you. I am going outside. And he went outside. And Herbert said, if there is no more in the other stories, we shall make out of it. And Mrs. White, did you give him anything for it? So he said, no, I am not going to pay anything to him. So that's all for today's session. We will meet in our next session we will continue this chapter in our next session. Till then, have a nice day and take care of your health.